Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to explain about airstream and articulation. The airstream mechanism is the method by which airflow is created in the vocal tract. The airstream mechanism is mandatory for sound production. The organ generating the airstream is called initiator. The three initiators are: number 1, pulmonic mechanism; number 2, glottalic mechanism; and number 3, lingual or phalaric mechanism. It's made as by increasing pressure in the airstream or by reducing it with suction. If the air is passed out, it is called egressive, and if the air is sucked in, it is called ingressive. 4 types of airstream. Number 1, pulmonic aggressive. Pulmonic aggressive is when all the air is passed by the ribs and diaphragm. Number 2, glottalic aggressive or ejective. It is when the air column is compressed as the glottis moves upward. Number 3, glottalic ingressive or implosive. It is when the air column is relieved as the glottis moves downward. Number 4, lingual ingressive or clicks. It is when the air in the mouth is relieved by downward movement of the tongue. Articulation. Articulation in phonetic is a configuration of the vocal tract. This configuration modifies an airstream to produce the sounds of speech. Consonant is sounds that is acculturated by closing all or parts of the vocal tract. Voice and voiceless. Some consonant sounds are voiced and some are voiceless. A voiceless sound is one that just uses air to make the sounds and not the voice. When you say a sound, if you can feel a vibration, it is a voice sound. I want to explain about place of articulators. Consonants are traditionally classified by their place of articulation in tandem with voicing and manner features. Place of articulation in English is: number 1, bilabial. In the bilabial sounds, the lower lips is an active articulator, and the upper lips is the passive articulator. For example, put and but. Number 2, labiodental. The labiodental is articulated by the lower lips and upper teeth, such as fat and fat. Number 3, dental. In the dental, the position of tongue tip behind upper front teeth pronounce dental sound, such as theta and h. Number 4, alveolar. Front tongue on the alveolar ridge produce alveolar, such as say, zu, and not. Number 5, postalveolar. Postalveolar articulate with the tongue near or touching the back of the alveolar ridge, such as sheep, beach, chill, and jump. Number 6, palatal. The front tongue move hard palate produce palate, such as young and kitchen. Number 7, velars. Beyond the hard palate, soft palate or velum is at the mouth roof, such as come, good, and sing. Number 8, glottal. Glottal is pronounced with the tongue and other parts of the mouth actively. When the glottis open and the air passes out of the mouth freely, H is produced, such as home.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to explain about manner of articulation stop, fricative, and approximants. The manner of articulation is the way the airstream is affected as it flows from the lungs and out the nose and mouth. The manner of articulation of a sound is how the airstream is affected as it goes through your vocal tract. The first, stop. Stop consonant occur when the vocal tract is closed completely. But for stop, the airflow is not redirected through the nose. Instead, the air quickly builds up pressure behind the articulators and then released in the burst. Example: burst and rap, back and cap, tap and rat, tip and bat, kite and back, cut and book. Okay. Second, fricative. While stop consonant involve a complete blockade of the vocal tract, fricative sounds involve only a partial block of the vocal tract so that hair has not to be forced through a narrow channel. For example, you create a T stop consonant when you block alveol completely with your tongue against the alveolar ridge. But if you let up with the tongue a bit and let the air seep through, you make fricative consonant. Example: through and cough, fine and have, thick and bad, dull and rather, sweet and bush, sit and jazz, shoot and brush. The third, approximant. Approximant are when two articulators come close together but not quite close enough to create air turbulence. The three, the English approximants, wet and word, yes and bayou, right and rule. Okay, now I want to explain about central and lateral. Central consonant is a consonant sound that is produced when air flows across the center of the mouth over the tongue. And lateral consonant is when the tongue blocks the middle of your mouth so that air has to pass around the sides. Thank you.
Okay, here I will explain about trials or plebs and tapes. Trials and tapes are short stop-like consonant made through rapid gesture by muscle contraction and aimed at an articulation regions. Plebs involve preparatory rising and retraction of the tongue, and as a result, the form and transitions before and after the pleb are quite different from each other. Secondary articulation. Secondary articulation occurs when the articulation of a consonant is equivalent to the combined articulation of two or three simpler consonants, at least one of which is an approximant. Types of secondary articulation: for the first, labialization, and then palatalization, and third, velarization, and pharyngealization, and last, glottalization.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will explain about affricate. Affricate is a consonant that begins as a stop and release as fricative, generally with the same place of articulation or most often coronal. It is often difficult to decide if a stop and fricative form a single phoneme or a consonant pair. Affricate consonant sounds are made by starting with a passive or full block of air and immediately blending into a fricative or partial block. And next, vowel lengthening. The vowel sounds before an invoiced consonant sound has a certain duration helps listeners of English determine which sound was spoken. Some specialist dictionaries will use a colon-like symbol of a stage triangles to note a vowel with increased durations.
Okay, here I will explain you about the aspiration. In phonetics, aspiration is the strong burst of breath that accompanies either the release or, in the case of perspiration, the closure of some obstruents. In English, aspirate consonants are allotness in complementary distribution with their unaspirated
counterparts, but in some other languages, notably most Indian and East Asian languages, the difference is contrastive. Then, aspiration and voiceless approximates. If an aspirated plosive is followed and approximates, as in pray, the period of voicelessness after the plosives realize will coincide with the approximates and make it voiceless. The example pray, pray, please, please, queen, queen, pure, pure. Last, nasal stop. In phonetics, a nasal, also called a nasal occlusive or nasal stop in contrast with a neural stop, a neuralized constant is an occlusive constant produced with a lower volume, allowing air to escape freely through the nose. Examples of nasals in English are N and M. In words such as mouth, bring, and mouth, nasal occlusive are nearly universal in human and language. Nasal are voiced, and in fact, the nasal sounds N and M are among the most common sounds cross-linguistically. Voiceless nasals occur in a few languages such as Burmese, Welsh, Icelandic, and Guarani.